All right, like I said, I'm just gonna start out asking you your name, your
Benji Drawdy,
Okay. Date of birth.
9/2/34.
Okay, and who were your parents?
Lena and Berrien County.
What was your mother's maiden name?
Clements.
She was a Clements. Who was her father?
Thomas.
Thomas Clements. Okay. Was he from what area of Berrien County was she from?
I think Berrien County.
Okay. All right. How many brothers and sisters did you have?
2 sisters, 5 brothers.
Okay. Your sisters' names?
Evelyn and Pauline.
Okay. Your brothers?
Sherman, Carson, Junior, Alvin, James.
All of those are familiar names.
There were 6 of us. 6 boys and 2 girls.
And who did you marry? Who did you marry?
Carolyn Griffin,
When did you marry?
1955.
How many children did y'all have?
We had 4.
Their names?
Donna, Tammy, Holly, and a son named Brett.
Know all of those. Okay, that kind of takes care of the family part of it. Now I want to get into where did you start to school? Where did you go to school when you were in 1st grade?
Old Jordan School,
Okay,
West Berrien.
So you did grow up out there in the West Berrien area. Okay.
Right,
How many years did you go to school there?
8
Went to the 8th grade.
8 years.
Did they have any kind of sports there when you were there in
They
grammar
did.
school?
They had basketball.
They had a basketball team.
Yeah.
Did you play on the basketball team?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What years did you play on the basketball team? You said you were born in what year did you say?
Probably about probably the early 40s that I started school there.
Right. What year?
And then about 48.
What grades did you play basketball?
7th and 8th
7th
grade.
and 8th grades. Is that what? I know when I was in grammar school, when you were 6th, 7th, and 8th, you could play on the basketball team.
Right.
6th, 7th, and 8th. So
Right.
you played 7th and 8th.
Yeah,
Were you pretty good?
I thought I was.
Were you one of the taller players?
I probably was, yeah.
Okay. Play center. What teams did y'all play back then? Who were y'all's opponents?
I guess maybe like Paul and Ray City and
Nashville?
Nashville,
Enigma?
Enigma, probably.
Did you go out? Probably didn't go out of the county. We didn't really go out of the county, but a couple of times.
No.
We played like DuPont one time and somebody like that when I was in grammar school. But you played mainly teams in the county. You didn't go out of town and play like in Sparks maybe? Or
I don't think so.
Lennox or any of those?
What about some of the other schools like Poplar Springs and those areas that were?
Yeah,
that
they probably had ball teams too, right? Poplar
I probably
Springs?
played against them,
Okay.
yeah.
Because that was before pre-East Berrien.
Right,
So, yeah, I'm sure they had a team too.
yeah.
What do you remember about playing? Where did y'all have your own gym?
Yes, we did.
Okay, at Jordan
That's a
School.
good gym.
Okay, now Jordan School, is it out there where that little area is grown up next to that? There's a house there, and then there's an area that's like grown up in weeds. And if I remember from when I was several years back, that was where Jordan School sat. It was right there on the highway, or right
That's
there on the left of
correct.
the highway. And the gym was right there next to the school.
Tied to the classroom,
It was actually tied to the school. It's
Yeah.
all one building.
yeah, yeah. But now that building burned
Okay.
and they rebuilt.
Jordan School burned.
Yes, it did.
When did it burn?
when I was in the 8th grade.
It just burned to the ground?
Burned to the ground.
Okay. When you were at Jordan School, who were some of your teachers that you remember? Do you remember your teachers throughout the grades?
Billy Mathis was one. Miss Esther Polk.
Yeah.
See, we didn't change classes in those days.
Right, you didn't change even when you were in 7th and 8th grade, you still had just the one teacher?
That's right.
I don't know who your second grade teacher was.
Okay.
Do what?
I know who your second grade teacher was. Aunt Pauline.
Yeah.
His sister, his oldest sister, taught him in second grade.
Oh, now, what kind of experience was that?
She was pretty tough.
So she didn't give you any slack just
That's
because
right.
you were a little brother?
She didn't cut me any slack.
Okay. You had, how many classes were at that Jordan School? Just probably one class?
1 through 8.
Was there one class per grade, or did
That's
they
right.
combine some grades?
I think there's only one class per grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you remember about, like, when you went to play, do you remember actually going to play, like, at a Lapa Hall, or in your gym? You know, what did the gym look like? What was it like playing in that old wood gym? 'Cause I can remember going, and we used to come before we had our gym there at the grammar school, we came out here to Copper Springs, to East Berrien, and that's where we had to practice when we were in like 6th grade.
That gym there was in good shape.
It was.
Good gym.
That East Berrien gym was in great shape. It was in good
Right.
shape. It really was. Now, I remember going
Right.
to Ray City and playing, and the Lapa Hall, and Enigma, those places.
Yeah.
I remember going there and playing.
What about your gym at Jordan, Daddy?
What did it look like?
Is it in pretty good shape? Had a good floor in it, or what was
It
it?
was in good shape. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, your gym was in good shape.
Yeah.
Who was coaching you then?
I don't remember.
You don't remember who your grammar school basketball coach was?
I don't.
You don't remember? What about the girl? They had a girls' team too, I assume.
I'm assuming they did.
But you don't remember who your coach was in
I
grammar
don't.
school?
I don't.
Do you remember playing tournaments in grammar school?
I don't
Like
think
county-
we played tournaments.
You didn't have like a county tournament?
I don't think we had it at that time.
Okay. Well, do you remember any of your teammates? Who were some of the boys on your team?
Who did you play ball with in 7th and 8th
I
grade?
understand.
Giving you some hard questions.
I don't remember those either.
You don't remember
I don't.
some of the
I
boys that
don't.
played with you?
I don't.
Okay.
Were they some of the same ones that when you come to the high school that y'all played together even in early high
I
school?
don't think so. I think I was the only one from there that played at the high
played
school.
ball?
Yeah.
Okay. So and you left Jordan School, or you graduated from grammar school, and then you came to town. You came to Nashville High
Yeah.
School.
Yeah.
Okay. What year did you graduate from Nashville High School?
1953.
53. That was 11 grades. That was 11th
Right.
grade. And when you got to Nashville High School, did you start playing sports
I did.
immediately in 9th grade?
I did.
Did you play basketball and football?
Yes, I did.
What position did you play on the basketball team then when you were in 9th grade?
I probably was center at that time.
Yeah.
Later on, I become a forward.
Yeah, I noticed. Well, I noticed that you were. I think you were center when you graduated in '53. That you were the center on the basketball team. One that would.
I kind of think Guy Tittle was the center.
Really, Guy Tittle, you think was the
Yeah,
center?
I think so.
Okay. All right. I think you were the captain maybe you were the captain of the football team.
Football team,
Captain of the football team.
yeah.
Okay, she's getting the book there. Yeah, we can look at that right quick. You can, okay, but on the basketball team, you played forward. And Guy Tittle, you think was your center.
I think that's right.
Do you remember other players on the basketball team at that time? We're gonna see them here in just a minute. Cause I know, I had looked at that, cause we do have that scan, and we do have it on the website. Okay, we're gonna have this. Here's the boys.
Get your glasses out.
Can you read those
I don't
names?
have my glasses.
Yeah, need your
Right
glasses
here.
to see them?
I can handle the glasses part.
Okay, and you can tell me what you remember about some of those.
Bobby
players.
Griffin was one,
Bobby Griffin,
yeah. The Knicks boy,
okay.
Russell,
Russell Nix played, okay.
yeah,
He's still living.
yeah. All those are living. Bobby Prickett,
Yeah, Bobby Prickett, he played basketball. He stayed involved in sports for his whole life.
there was an Osborne boy,
Uh,
a player.
would it have been Dorian's older brother?
I think that's right.
Okay. He should be in there then, shouldn't he? Let's see, we got Nix, Griffin, Drawdy, and it's showing that you were center. This is the year you graduated. Prickett,
Maybe
Dryden, Osborne. That's probably Dorian's older brother. I
I
can't
think that's right.
And a player. Which Whidden would that have been?
I think that would have been Johnny.
Not Johnny. You probably may have been Jack. The older one, I think. Or
The
no,
Whidden.
not Jim. Jack is older than
The
Jim.
Whidden boy that,
That's look like Jim though. Okay, that looks like Jim Whidden.
yeah,
Okay, that's Jim Whidden. And then a Matthews.
yeah. I can't remember.
It's not Wesley, is it? Cause
Yes, it is.
Is it Wesley?
Yep.
Well, I was thinking Wesley didn't graduate from high school till 57.
These may have been juniors or freshmen. This was the whole team.
Could
That's
have
the
been.
whole team. They could have been, okay, could have been younger. Could have been then,
Yeah.
53. That could be Wesley Matthews. Like I said,
Bobby
Jim Whidden,
Rowan.
Bobby Rowan. There's a Dix. There's a Vickers, and okay, Tittle, Guy Tittle,
Yeah,
and a Shaw.
that's right.
Okay. And do you remember who your basketball coach was?
Trigger Parnell was at one time.
Parnell. I remember that name. I've heard that name.
Herman Dollar was at one time.
I know that name too. Yeah.
I can just see one of the other ones, but I can't remember his name.
Okay. Now Nashville High School. Who did y'all play? Do y'all play like Adel?
We played
Places-
Adele.
Adel, Lakeland.
Lakeland didn't have a team at that time. We played Waycross.
Y'all played Waycross.
Yeah.
Okay.
We played, I think we probably played Douglas.
Did y'all play Atkinson County some at that time? Or Willacoochee at that time?
They didn't have football.
This is
Okay.
basketball now.
We're still talking about basketball right now.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. I can't remember who else we played.
Okay.
Waycross and
Probably Adel.
Douglas and ATL.
Do you remember playing anybody? Did you play Valdosta or any?
We did play
Did
Valdosta.
play Valdosta. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you remember about, y'all played in that old wooden gym that was there on the campus. And I actually am old enough to remember going there. I went with
Some
that.
some of the teams that come and played there,
I bet they thought something of that.
they called it the Cracker Box.
They called it Cracker Box.
Yeah, it wasn't very big.
Well, it looked big.
It was not yet full-size gym.
The
It
floor,
was high school gym, it was junior high.
oh, it was the floor length was not full size.
That's right.
Okay, I didn't know that.
That was
because
junior
when
high
I-
size.
When I was a kid, I mean, I was probably like 5 or 6. I remember going, Daddy taking me to stuff there. And
Yeah.
to me, it seemed so big,
Right.
you know. But the bleachers, it seemed like the bleachers were just huge, which I guess they weren't, but it just looked like it was just
I
huge.
can remember the new gym being built, but I don't remember the old gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of basketball player were you? Were you pretty good? You were the center. The center's usually a pretty good player. They wouldn't be in the center.
I thought I was pretty fair.
Pretty fair, okay?
Yeah,
Did you score a fair number of points?
I did.
Who were generally your better scorers on your team? Who were the ones that usually started, the starting players when you were a senior there? Who were the better players on the team?
Bobby Griffin probably was a high scorer.
What was he? Did he play guard or forward?
He was a forward.
How tall was he?
About 6'3",
Wow. And how tall were you at that time?
6'2",
Okay. And who were Guy Tittle was pretty tall.
6'3".
So y'all, for that time, y'all had a tall team. I would say.
Mm-hmm.
The Dix boy was 6 feet.
Okay. Do you remember what kind of record y'all had? How well you did?
We almost went undefeated the senior year.
Well, I would say that's good.
We defeated Osoa,
Mm-hmm.
and they were undefeated when we went up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had region tournaments and all back then. Did y'all go to a region tournament? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
You're talking about over 50 years
I know
ago.
that. I realize that.
I'm reaching way back.
Uh-huh. I
Actually,
realize.
you're talking about
60
years ago.
I know.
Over 60
I was
years
being
ago.
safe.
It was over 50, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Okay, so y'all had a pretty good team that senior year then.
yeah.
Y'all had some pretty good sized players.
That Dix boy's name came to me. He was Charles.
Charles Dix, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What was it like playing in that old small floored gym way back then? What do you remember about it? What do you remember about the practices? See, because I can remember basketball practices like with Miss Burnham in grammar school. I can remember when she had us out there dribbling down that court and dribbling back. And I remember seeing you do the same thing with the boys.
The main thing I remember about that small court, Fitzgerald come down there. We beat him. They said, wait till you come to Fitzgerald. We'll get you on that full-size court.
Uh-huh.
Well, we didn't score but 105 points on them up there.
Good heavens.
That's pretty good for high school.
So it didn't hurt you to get on that bigger court and play.
That's right.
I can imagine being on that small court, all those 10 players crowded down there in that half court.
I thought we were all good team players.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And who was your coach that senior year? Do you remember which one was the coach that senior year?
I can see him, but I can't call his name. It'll come to me.
Okay. Okay. All right, we'll go to football. You played football when you got to National High School too.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right,
ma'am.
started in 9th grade.
I did.
Do you know what position you played?
I played tackle.
You played offensive or defensive or both?
Both.
Both. Went both ways?
We went both ways back then.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
But later on now, I played in.
Offensive end?
Yeah. Can I brag on this thing?
Yes, you can brag. All you want, we're gonna get to the bragging part, yeah.
I was an
Oh,
all
this is
region end
All region end, okay?
my senior year.
Okay, okay. What did you, who were some of your teammates you got them there on the football team that you remember that were the really good players? Like, do you remember who your quarterback was when you were a senior? Which is probably gonna show us on here.
I can't remember.
Let's see, we got Carlisle, tackle, Shaw, back, Osborne, tackle, Bennett, back, Russell Nix, back, Dykes, tackle, Dix, end, Whidden, back, Purvis, guard, Kimball, guard, Griffin, tackle, Hunt, end, Morris, center, Tittle, end, Nash, center, Nix, Nix, back, Brinson, end, Jenrette, tackle, Futch, tackle, Gaskins, end, Waller and Fuller, managers, Roberts, end, Day, guard, Davis, guard. Who was it didn't show who the quarterback was, did it? And it shows that you were the captain and Russell Nix was co-captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can remember that boy. But he was a grade or two lower than
beat
we
Cook
were.
County. Beat Cook County that year. Adele beat Alma.
That's the first time we
Lost
get beat.
Lost big to Fitzgerald. Beat Blakely. Okay, looks like it's probably about a half wins and half losses on
If
that.
I cut that thing off and let me use the restroom.
Yes, I can.
Kirkland. I remember you
We're
saying
Mitchell
that.
Kirkland.
looking
I
at
remember.
the yearbook. So you're a football coach. This is your football coach we're talking about now.
I think, see, they coach those sports.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave you on football though.
Richard Kirkland was
All
your
right.
football coach. Okay, tell me,
Mitchell.
you said that you were an all-region end your senior year.
That's right.
Did you get, what kind of recognition did you get? Did you get a trophy or just get the,
I don't remember anything as a reward.
no kind of reward that you
I
remember?
don't think so.
Okay. Now, when you graduated from high school, did you get some kind of scholarship or something to play football? Or where did you go after you left high school?
I got a little bit of help to go to Middle Georgia College.
Middle Georgia College?
Yeah.
Did you play with
I
their football?
played 2 years up there.
You did play with their football team, so you did get some sort of scholarship or partial scholarship? Or
It wasn't called that,
what call that?
but I got a little help.
Okay, so you played for 2 years at Middle Georgia,
That's right.
and did you play end with them?
No, I played tackle up
You
there.
played offensive tackle, defensive
Yeah,
tackle?
I went both ways.
Okay, both of them, okay.
I have the Middle Georgia College annual and it's been destroyed.
Ooh,
Something's got into it's either got wet or the rats got into it, but it is nothing to it. It is in terrible shape, and I'll show it to you before you leave.
wow, okay. So you went there for 2 years, and you played football. What sort of people what were the teams that y'all played? Where did y'all travel to play football when you were in Middle Georgia?
Georgia military. There was a team at Milledgeville, and there was a team at Gordon Military.
Gordon Military?
Didn't y'all travel down in Florida?
That was basketball. We went to Pensacola, Florida, and played Chipola's Junior College.
So you played basketball and football at
Yes, I
Middle
did, yeah.
Georgia? Okay,
I
so
did,
you
yeah.
didn't just play football. And what position did you play on
I
basketball?
played center up there.
You did play center up there.
Yeah.
Were you pretty good?
I thought it was, but I don't think the coach showed off it too good.
Well, did you play a good bit?
I played a good bit, but the boy I was playing behind made the little All-American.
Oh, okay. He was a good player.
He was outstanding.
Right. Did y'all, well, it was just a 2-year school, did y'all play A-back? Did they have a team?
We did in basketball.
In
They
basketball?
didn't have
I know
football.
they didn't have football, did you play them in
No.
basketball?
Uh-uh.
Okay. And what was it like traveling around as a 18, 19-year-old playing basketball and football like that?
I thought it was super. I saw some of the country
Yeah,
that I had not seen.
right? Yeah, for a
We
little.
went up to Athens, Tennessee, a time or two.
What was the college there?
That was the Junior College Southeastern Conference
Mm-hmm.
tournament. We played some teams out of Kentucky.
Back then, Kentucky and Indiana were considered the
That's
best
right.
basketball players anywhere.
We played 3 times up there.
In Kentucky? Or in Athens?
In Athens, Tennessee. And got beat twice.
Okay.
Now, that was in basketball.
It was in basketball.
When you get back talking about your football, there's something I want to ask you about that I don't know when it took place, but you had a bad injury in football
That was high school.
before you went to college.
Right.
You had a bad injury playing football in high school? Tell us about that.
I hit the Dix boy. I
Okay?
tackled him.
You tackled him. This was obviously in practice.
That was. In fact, I fully intended to put him in the stands.
Was there a reason for that?
No.
You just were
And
tough?
two or three boys had missed him.
Okay.
I fully intended to get him.
Okay, and you did, I
And I
guess.
did, and he got me too.
Okay. How were you hurt?
Shoulder was knocked down.
Ooh, okay.
Tore the shoulder.
Had to have it operated on.
Oh, you did have
Had it tied back together.
so you had what we would probably call now a rotator cuff injury or
Yeah, it knocked it plumb out of socket.
oh, okay, dislocation.
They took ligament side to side of my leg and put it in.
Oh, that's a,
Couldn't do it in this part of the country. They had to do it in Macon.
I was fixed to say,
Right.
that sort of surgery back then was not something that you just, was not a usual surgery.
That doctor up there was named John I. Little.
John what?
John I. Little.
John I. Little. He was the doctor
I
that did
think
this.
that's right.
He must have done a good job because you were able to
He did.
continue to play
He did it.
sports.
And been able to
The only thing, they didn't take the stitches out as quick as they should.
Okay.
Left me scarred pretty bad.
Oh, okay,
Of course, they don't many people see it.
okay. Right. Well, I'm gonna get the football. I know, when I was in school, in grammar school, and you were there, and you were coaching football, I've told everybody I've never seen anybody that could throw a football or kick a football as far as you could. Now, did you kick for the high school team too? Were you the kicker too?
Yeah,
You were the punter for the high
Yeah.
school team?
yeah.
Talk about that, because I know you told me that you could outkick the boy that went to Georgia or something like that.
Several times, I kicked that ball out of bounds within the 10-yard line.
That's what you want to do.
Right.
If you know how to play football, that's what you want to do. Some of them these days don't seem to know what they're doing.
There used to be a guy working for the Herald, the paper,
Mhm.
John Raker. And he came to me one time and told me that I was probably the best high school kicker he'd ever seen.
Now, when you say the Herald, you talking about which newspaper?
Nashville
The
Herald.
Nashville Herald? Somebody
Yeah.
that worked for him. So
Yeah.
he traveled around and
He
saw
was
all
out of
that.
Florida
Okay.
and come up here to work for the paper.
Yeah. And he said that you were the best high school kicker he had seen.
That's what he said.
Did you get any offers or feelers about kicking for going to school and as a kicker?
Tell you the truth, I weren't too interested in playing college football.
Yeah.
I wound up at Middle Georgia.
Right.
But he had offers and went other places that he could
That's
have gone.
right.
Okay. But tell us about the offers. That's what I was kind of asking about. If you had other offers.
I had an offer to go to University of South Carolina.
Okay. To play end and kick, or just a?
I had no idea where they
didn't.
used me.
Okay.
I had 2 or 3 other offers. I can't remember whether it was Clemson.
Clemson.
I got a letter from them.
Okay. And any others you remember?
My coach talked like he could get me into Georgia. He had played football with Buds at Mercer University.
Well, why weren't you interested in those offers? The shoulder?
I had all of that.
Yeah.
I wanted. Let me expand on that just a little bit.
Okay.
A lot of people wondered why I continued to play football after I got hurt, injured. I liked it. It helped me get my education, kept me in school, left me with, what you might say, some permanent injuries. But that's what got me my education.
Right.
And that's what helped me make a living down through the years.
So you.
It was worth it.
So
I'm not sorry.
I understand, but you took the local offer rather than go play at the bigger place.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I probably would have gone to the University of South Carolina. The day I went there for an interview, the head coach was not there. So I didn't go back. They offered me a full scholarship. I don't think you need to print this, but
Well, why not?
well, they offered me a full scholarship and $20 a month.
Okay. Which they weren't supposed to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
I just will tell you the rest of it. I told
Yeah,
you
go
that.
right ahead, yeah.
He told me the $20 a month for laundry. He says, we've got our own laundry.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be your pocket change. From Samson, a fellow was coaching there by the name of Howard. His last name, I think, was Howard.
Yeah.
I never talked to him in person, but he wrote me a letter. They'd like for me to come up there, but I never did go. Frank Howard was his name, I think.
Yeah.
God, we're going back too far. You're straining my brain.
That's okay. Okay. What didn't you like about Clemson? What didn't you like about the idea of going to Clemson?
It was at that time not as well known. My chances of playing there was pretty good if I went.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the things that attracted me.
Right.
Yeah. But I've always enjoyed my athletics.
I know that. I know that.
Let me tell y'all something else that you may not know. I've got a sister named Evelyn. She broke some records at high school in basketball.
Oh, really?
That's never been broke.
Really? Now what?
They still stand.
did she play? Is she older or younger?
She was younger.
How much younger than you?
2 years.
She's just above Donna, and Donna probably can tell you more about those records than we know about.
Okay.
I was at Middle Georgia College when she played out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it must have been a couple of years around 50, 51.
Right.
Evelyn could do something I never could do.
What's that?
She shot with both hands, with each hand.
Right.
She could go left
Right.
or go right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. She was
She's
a
a pretty
good
good ball
She
player.
was a good ball player. Did,
Yeah.
did she go to college back then to
She
play
didn't.
anything like that?
She didn't.
Okay.
I think she went APAC, you know, but I don't think she played any.
Right. Right. Well, when you left Middle Georgia, where did you go to? Where did you go?
Georgia Southern,
You went to Georgia Southern. Did you continue to play ball there?
no.
Just concentrated.
But I finished my 4-year degree,
Right. Did-
undergraduate
Right. What was your major at college?
education,
Education.
elementary education.
Okay. No, you didn't play any more sports after you
No.
left.
That was all the
Middle
sports I
Georgia.
played.
Okay, and you graduated from
I did.
Georgia Southern, and did you come straight back to Nashville to teach?
I come back. I'd already been teaching some.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Valdosta State and got a bachelor's.
Okay, you went to Valdosta State after you finished at Georgia Southern. You went to Valdosta State.
Right.
All right. And then what year was that you finished at Valdosta State?
What was 25 years ago, Benji?
Oh, it was longer than 25 years ago. It was a lot more than 25 years.
Well, see, I was teaching all this time.
Right, right.
I can't tell you what year I graduated at Valdosta
Okay,
State.
okay. But what year did you start at Nashville Elementary? Do you remember about what year that was? Say 50?
About 50,
You graduated from high school
about
50,
56,
about 56, you think?
because I graduated in 53.
53 from
Went
high
2
school.
years in Middle Georgia.
Right, that made 55, and then you,
I think I started teaching 56.
56? you
That's
think?
pretty close.
Okay, but when you went to Nashville Elementary, did you immediately start coaching sports? when
I
you
did.
went there? Did you start coaching the basketball,
Basketball and
and
football.
But girls and boys basketball?
I think so. I think that's right.
Okay. What do you remember about? Well, Donna was just talking about some of your, not really earlier teams, but who are some of the boy players that you remember on the basketball team in those early years? Do you remember any? of them?
W.C. Ray,
Okay.
Bob Clyde,
Yeah.
George Clennon,
Joe, I know George. Yeah, he played football and basketball.
Chris Avery,
Mm-hmm.
Dan Taylor.
You're talking about my period of time now.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you coached like Ann Whitten and Beth Taylor in
I
grade
did.
school.
I did. Ann and both.
Right.
And Beth both. Eloise Shealy.
I know that one of the football players that I always remember is Willie B. McGee.
Yeah.
Do you remember they used to
I
have
do.
the thing,
I
"Send the
do.
ball to Willie B. and a
I do.
touchdown it will be."
I did.
That was the football team. Now,
Yeah.
who did we play in football? Because did Alapaha? They didn't have teams in places like Alapaha. Their grammar schools did they, or did they?
We played Adele.
Played Adele?
Yeah.
Okay.
Osella.
Mm-hmm.
May have played Fitzgerald.
Yeah, the football teams that we played were probably mostly out of the county, because I don't think
Oh, yeah.
they didn't have any
Oh, yeah.
football at Ray City.
Was
or
it
like-
football or basketball when you were driving the school bus?
Basketball.
And you hit the brakes on the school bus and y'all just kept going.
But I don't remember.
You pulled up to the railroad track. School bus driver was the coach. And Daddy said when he hit the brakes at the railroad track to stop, it's a lap hauler enigma. That they weren't any brakes to stop. And you just geared it down and kept going, and that's the way he got it back home too.
I don't remember that, but I mean, at the time I was there.
Yeah, I drove a school bus within the county.
I think you said that happened at Enigma years back when you was coaching at the elementary school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the elementary school. When did that elementary school?
I can
when
tell
did-
you
when
who
did it
drove
take
that
place?
school bus for me. I don't know if I can or not. That little short feller that used to be at the high school and was a custodian. What was his name?
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name right now either, but I will. He always wore a hat. Right?
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. We'll figure him out later. But your days at as long as the elementary school was in operation, you were there, and you were the football coach, and you were the girls and boys basketball coach until
Right.
Miss Burnham came. And then when Miss
Right.
Burnham came, she took over the girls team. What can you tell me about Miss Burnham? Because she was my coach. Betty Hand Burnham.
Yeah. I helped her with that team some.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm sure I remember that.
And if I'm not mistaken, she was there. She coached only 1 year, I think. I'm not sure.
I think she coached more than that, because she coached us, I'm sure, 7th and 8th grade.
I can't remember.
Yeah, and then she did.
But then I took them back over.
Okay, you
For
did.
some reason
after
or other.
After she left, I think that they actually they left here. You know.
That could have been.
And but she definitely coached us like 7th and 8th grade, because I remember 8th grade we won the county tournament. I think we beat Laphaw, if I'm not mistaken. But we won the county tournament that year.
Yeah. Yeah. I know she come to me and told me, says, I couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah, I'm sure that was true too.
Daddy, when you were
I'm
coaching,
sure she meant it.
have you told her about playing Mr. Sam's and how you got along with Mr. Sam's and the
Oh,
tournament?
man, Mr. Sam for buddies.
Right.
I thought he was a fine old man.
Mm-hmm.
We played him in the tournament out at East Berrien,
That's where you
Old
had
Poplar Springs.
Poplar Springs.
Tournament was held there that year. Donna thinks that when Beth and them played, it was held in Laphaw. I'm not sure that's right.
May not be.
I think it was held in,
Doesn't
Oh,
matter where
Papa.
it was held, it was who you played.
at any rate, when he come, I was already there with my team in a tournament. He walked across the court to me, got over there, and he says, Ben says, we haven't lost a ball game in 30-something games.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, I believe we're in the biggest trouble we've been in.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, Mr. Sam, I kind of thought that too. And I don't know for sure, but I think that was the time that Beth and Ann played.
Right. So this is the girls' team we're talking about? That
Yeah.
We're playing? Okay.
Right at the end of the ball game, we got 3 points ahead. I don't remember how many seconds, probably less than 30 or 35 seconds. I called timeout. Called my girls down to me and I says, you line up under the goal. They took it out of center at that time.
Uh-huh.
And that was when you played half court at the time.
Yeah, that's the way I played the whole time.
And I said to him, I says, don't you touch nobody. You keep them hands down by your side. Well, they did exactly what I told them to do. Well, when they come down, they began to work the ball around and finally figured out that we was going to stand still. So they went in and scored. Then I told Ann, take that ball out of the center, throw it in the Beth. And Beth, you cross your arms on it.
Mm-hmm.
And she did. We beat him 1 point.
They were, Ann Whitten and Beth Taylor were good ball players,
They
weren't they?
were. I played him in Enigma one night. We tied it in the ball game. Played 2 overtimes. Was tied. He come across over there to me, still talking about the times. He said, Ben, and says the girls will give out. He says, now we'll stop it before somebody gets hurt, or we'll play all night or get one. I says, let's stop it. So we called the referee over to us. I told him, I said, let's stop it, no point. This is a fun game. So the referee come over there to us. He says, now, I'll go call the ball game all night. I'll referee it all night. Or we'll do whatever y'all want to do. Says, we have come to serve you. We told him, says, let's stop it. The guy that was refereeing was the principal at Tifton Junior High School. I can't think of his name. I've been trying for 2 or 3 years, and I can't remember him. Nice fella. Did us a super job. But I remember, we turned around and come and played it here in this gym, high school. Tied it in the ball game. We played the overtime. And I beat him 1 point in overtime.
All right.
Or 3 points, I don't remember.
Now, at the time you were coaching Ann and Beth and them, did they play in that old gym there on the campus?
I think so.
Yeah, the old big
I think so.
wood gym.
Hold on, we can figure that out. What year did Ann and Beth, what were they in graduating at the high school?
They graduated around 64, 65. That gym
That was some of my first years.
that was not the block building over there was not. The block gym was not built by them, 'cause it was not built until I was in 6th grade.
I remember well that gym being built and how it was built.
Yeah, exactly, selling those. You can talk about that. The way we sold that is we sold these little tokens for $1 a piece, and each dollar was supposed to be a block for that gymnasium. You know, the grade
Right.
school.
And they also did something else to keep those teams going there or put that gym in. You remember what they used to do and sell plates? And who was involved in that? Had enough fish fries for I don't know how many people. Don't you remember them selling plates and having fish fries?
Who was the one that was doing
That was Larry Taylor.
Okay.
That was Dr. Brown. And I don't remember who else.
Fred Belcher.
Fred Belcher. I can remember this, and I was a child. And Mama, there's a reason I remember it being Mama, always made the hush puppies. Because Dr. Brown used to tease her to no end about the size of her chopped onion in the hush puppies.
Right.
Too big or too little?
He thought they were, he didn't care. But
Okay.
she cut them pretty big. She didn't always, Mama didn't find
She didn't
chopped
chop.
onions.
She didn't chop.
No, she could cut them up kind of chunky and fix the chunky hush puppies. He didn't care, because he'd eat it anyway.
I remember selling the little tokens.
And that, it was at that time, that was not, you can't call it a booster club, it was called the Dad's Club.
Right.
It was called the Dad's Club at that time, when they were selling those plates and having those fish fries. And they were frying fish between what is that gymnasium, or where it was even built at that time, because it was not completed. And they were right there just off of that gym where that old canning plant is, that old building is still there. And that's where they fried, and people come and picked up those fish plates.
Well, that may have been probably the old lunchroom then.
The old lunchroom wasn't in use at that time. Last year the old lunchroom was in use was the year I started to school, and we could not go in that lunchroom. You had to walk through and them hand you a sack, and they sent you back to your classroom to eat.
Well, it was,
And it was and you poured milk in a glass and drank it.
well, now the old lunchroom was in use through when I was through the 8th grade. Then.
Yeah.
So,
But-
and the gym was not built at that time. So
Right.
the old lunchroom would have been there at the time they were building the old gym.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what went with the trophy case and the trophies?
I do not. There are still some trophies. There is a trophy case in the old gym, in the gym there on the grammar school campus.
But it is, if I'm right, thinking I'm right, because I spent 5 years out there, there is none of the days that he coached trophies
Well,
existing.
we need to run that down and see if somebody's got some of those trophies.
When
for
I
that
went to the
time
primary
period.
school, they had crucified that trophy case, and it was nothing but a hull standing there. There was nothing in it.
Mm,
And I don't know what happened to those trophies, and I questioned it then and could not find out. I don't know where they are.
we need to try to find
You
out.
remember who made that and donated it?
I do not. No. Who did?
Guthrie's Variety Shop.
Nashville Variety Works.
Nashville Variety.
William Guthrie.
William. I tried to think of
Tried to
his
remember
name
that this
a
morning.
while ago, but it doesn't tell me.
Yeah. Okay. So you coached at the grammar school there, the football teams and the basketball teams, except for the few years
Right.
Miss Burnham coached, until the elementary school closed, and then they opened the middle school,
Right?
and you continued to coach there.
No,
No.
You never
Daddy
coached at
coached.
you never coached at the middle school.
that is he wasn't the last one to coach at the elementary school. He coached up until 1966 or 67.
Okay.
And left teaching for 2 years and went back into teaching, and that elementary still existed at that time, and he went back into teaching 1969, 70, I think, and taught at Fitzgerald for 2 years,
Okay.
and come back into the middle school and taught there until his
20 years.
Until you retired. When did you retire for teaching?
91.
91. Now, when I was in grammar school in 7th grade, you taught me science. Do you remember teaching science?
I do.
Do you remember teaching me science?
To be honest with you,
No.
I remembered you as an individual,
Right.
but I couldn't name you 5 people that I taught.
Do you remember
Pardon?
Do you remember Janice Ogletree sat right behind me? Do you remember Janice Ogletree? She's hard to forget now.
I
Did
can't
Janice
play.
play basketball?
Yes, she played basketball. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Tall,
Yeah.
tall, blonde.
yeah. Tall, slender girl.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were both in your science class.
Did she
Yeah.
wind up in Lakeland?
She moved to Lakeland when she was a sophomore in high school and married, yeah.
I don't think I've seen her since then.
I have.
I have, yeah.
She doesn't know me, but I've seen her.
Yeah. She was a fantastic ball player.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
through high school, when we were in high school and she left Berrien High School and went to Lakeland, the next time we played them, Coach Simpson said, he said, now she's either gonna be nervous and just do terrible, you know, when she comes back here to play, or she's just gonna kill us. And she killed us. She came over there and scored about 35 points against us that game.
now let me share you an experience or two with you.
Okay, go right ahead.
Had 2 boys. After they closed that gym, it was about to fall.
Mm-hmm.
We were practicing out at Old Poplar Springs.
Right, same place the girls practice.
Every day, they'd get in an argument, these 2 boys. I separated. One day we went out there, and they went to arguing. I just turned around and walked over to the side of the court and sat down on the rail. They stood there and they argued. I said, all right, boys, get it on. They didn't move. I walked out there to them. I says, don't want to have to separate you two again. And I didn't.
In other words, finish it or quit it once.
That's right. But if you want him, get him.
You don't remember who those boys were?
One of them Ronnie Stone. I don't remember who the other one was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me share another experience with you.
As many as you got.
W.C. Berrien.
Yeah,
You remember him?
I do.
We went to Race City to play them basketball one night. Fellow by the name of Hidalgo, small fellow, karate expert, was one of the referees. WC decided he'd blow up at him, go hit him. He just reached over and got him by the arm and led him over to me. He said, Coach, you need to put this boy on the bench because he's fixing to get in trouble. I took him out and played him no more the rest of the ball game. Next day, when we met in the gym, I gathered them all together in the stands. I looked at WC, I said, WC, do you know who you rolled up at last night? No, sir. I said, he was just a karate expert from Moody Field. I said, he'd have thrown you upside of that gym, you'd have run down it like a bucket of water. But I kept telling my students all the time, you don't open your mouth to that referee. If there's anything that I need to bring to the attention of the referee, I'll do it. You're not to do it.
Right.
I didn't have a big problem with that, though.
I don't think you had a lot of problem with your players. I think they pretty much, what you said, they knew they better listen.
Well, that's the way it should be today, but it's not. Sadly to say.
I agree with you. I don't even like to watch a lot of ball games on TV and stuff because the players have bad attitudes.
And she mentioned a while ago driving the school bus. I did. I drove it to games a lot of times. When I put a student out at night after, maybe if we were playing in Enigma somewhere, on the way home, if a student left, I'd put them out. I didn't move that school bus until I saw them go in the door.
Right.
Never had a problem with it. But this is one of the better ones. We went out to Old Poplar Springs to practice one evening. I met a car. I pulled over just as far as I could get. Let that car by. No roads weren't wide enough. The back of that bus slipped over into the ditch. I had a busload of boys, I don't know how many, probably 30, 40. Well, probably not quite that many, but at any rate, I says, y'all come out here, I want to show you something. I said, each of you get a hold of that bus, and when I tell you, lift it and slide it back up on the road. But they slid it right back out on the road, I called it and we took off.
Couldn't do that today.
You would have been fired.
I
In
always,
reality, there was nothing wrong with it. But the only thing is, if you had a problem, there'd have been something wrong.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I always wondered if somebody would challenge it, but
Yeah.
they didn't. Nobody never said a word.
Mhm.
A lot of things before though that was not terribly wrong, things like that. May not have been the right thing, but it wasn't a terribly wrong thing. People would address it in a heartbeat today, but back then you would have. But everybody assumed you were taking care of it and moving on.
Right. Yeah.
I'll tell you something else, I think. Especially at that time, and maybe even more so today. I think I enjoyed the middle school student better than I would high school.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of them dudes is big enough and not enough to challenge you.
Yeah.
Brett had a problem just the other day. I don't know if I should have told you, but
You just need to leave them alone off the
he
list.
separated two boys.
Yeah. I'll stop it for you today. You.
Your coaching career in sports.
I can't think of anything. If you know of anything, ask me and I'll do my best.
Well, just give me just sort of a summary of what it was like. You talked about what it was like playing football and basketball and all, and going to college and playing. How did it make you feel? How was your coaching career? How did you just feel about that whole experience?
I think the athletics, especially for me, was a great motivator to stay in school and get my education. I enjoyed every minute of it. If I had to do over, I'd do it again.
Yeah. And in your coaching career, how did that experience? How did you feel about that whole experience while you were doing it, and once it was over, and you just looked back and reflected upon it?
I was doing that. It was a part of my job, but by the same token, I was motivated to try to help every student I could help. And I did do that. I strived to do that. I wouldn't take anything for the experience.
Right. Well, to me, playing basketball, like in grammar school and high school, it's just, I think it's great for young people to be involved with sports and team sports, and to have coaches that do teach you things like discipline and things like that. I think it's a great thing.
I think it builds character.
It does. I agree with you. I agree.
But you got to like people and children.
Oh yes. You have, and you got to have players who want to be there too.
Absolutely.
I think that may be some of the problem you have now with some of these, I'm not knocking rec ball, but some of these kids and all that play rec ball, they're playing because mama wants them to.
They get burned out at it.
And they get burned out, and they don't, they just lose interest.
And we talk about the student that probably is not quite as motivated as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
The flip side to it, there's a lot of good students
Oh,
that's
gosh,
motivated.
Oh yes, there are.
I have taught some of us fine
Exactly.
students
Yeah, they
as anybody could teach.
schools get knocked too much too. People say people complain about Berrien High School. I said, look, Berrien High School for this area, we have a very excellent school system and teachers for a system like
Great.
us.
It's
Yeah.
great.
You can't compare us to Dunwoody or somewhere like that. But I think that
Right.
when my daughter was in school, now my granddaughter's in school, I think we have an excellent school system. I don't have anything but praise for them. I think they do a great job.
I've got lawyers and doctors and preachers and
Teachers.
every walk of life out there right now.
Right? Exactly.
And that's a pretty good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Very rewarding.
Okay. Okay, anything else that you have that you want to add before I'll stop this thing and leave you alone for the rest of the day so you can go watch the pre-Super Bowl and the Super Bowl? And
That's okay.
who are you pulling for? Are you
You know, I'm not near as interested as I used to be.
really?
I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm.
He prefers college football.
I do
And
too.
we do too.
I do like
do
the
too.
college
I
football.
do too. I prefer
Actually, better than the pros.
Yes, yes. But do you have a favorite? Is it gonna be New England or Seattle? We're gonna get a prediction right here.
I wouldn't be surprised if New England don't win it.
Is that who you're pulling for, or just who you think's gonna win?
I'm pretty much neutral.
Pretty much neutral. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. We'll see if you win out on that.
I haven't followed it much.
Yeah.
I thought what happened in the last playoff game, very uncalled for.
Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about the ball deflection.
The deflation. Okay, deflate gate.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that there's definitely something had to have gone on in that deal somehow.
Yeah,
And I don't believe that Brady didn't know anything about it. And I can understand why he would want a ball when it's cold and wet that he could grip real well to throw. But
I didn't understand each team not being monitored a little closer to start with.
exactly. Yeah. 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 The chain of command on those balls.
I was most surprised that each team furnished their own ball.
Yeah, I didn't know anything.
I'm most surprised to find that out.
I didn't really know all of that, frankly. I didn't know that. Okay, we got your prediction then. He's predicting New England, and I'm hoping Seattle wins. Not that I'm a big Seattle fan,
Okay.
because I wanted Green Bay to be there, and that just made me sick for them to be ahead and lose that game against Seattle.
Right.
I get into those games sometimes. You wouldn't want to be around me.
Really?
Yeah, you.
Well, now we get into college games here.
I do too. Yeah, I get into the college games too. You know, I'm jumping up and down and and all that good stuff.
But I tell you what I do most of the time. I pick the teams closest to me.
I do that. Usually that's what I do. And a lot of people will say that you shouldn't do that, but like if Georgia gets knocked out and you got Florida in there, I'm gonna pull for Florida. You know, instead of Oregon State. But some people say, "Oh, you can't do that." So,
I also
why not?
have my favorites when it comes to coaches.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I will actually
Pull for
favor a
coach.
team or pull for a team just because I like their coach, whether I know anything about the players. You know, because if you've got a coach that just really their personality just turns me off, I'm not going to sit there and
Sure,
cheer
you're
for that team.
That's why we are here, especially.
Yeah. Now I don't know what coaches you like or don't like. Spurrier.
But you give Spurrier credit for being a good coach.
I'm not a Spurrier hater. A lot of people are just Spurrier
We're not
haters.
necessarily haters, but we've never been really supporters, but give him credit
Yeah.
for his job that he does.
Right, exactly. But there's some, like the Alabama coach, Saban? Don't care for him.
I think it's
I tell you something, I bet
Urban
you,
Meyer, Ronnie doesn't care too much for.
Don't like Urban Meyer? Okay,
I'm
Ohio
not
State.
sure why.
did you know that Spurrier's daddy was a preacher?
No, I may have known that, but I didn't recall it.
Tammy and her mother
Mhm.
met him in a doctor's office in High Springs one day.
Oh, okay, okay.
Was that when Spurrier was at Florida still?
Spurrier's father, I want to say he's Methodist, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's that too.
I like Spurrier.
Like I said, when he was a
He's-
player, I thought he was a great player.
He was All-American in Florida.
He was, yes he was, But now he was pretty bad, he is and was pretty bad to throw a little temper tantrums when things didn't go his way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's good at that.
Yeah, But I guess you could say he's passionate about it. Okay.
Find some pictures she hadn't got.
Pictures of what?
Your coaching years.
Any kind of ball
Who
team.
are some of the students in there that might have some? But you mentioned Bob Clyde to me today. That he might have some stuff there. Who else?
Any kind of team photos or individual photos, any kind.
We know
anything
Ben
related to
Taylor
sport.
probably has got some, and I have no idea where any.
Becky's got whatever Dan had. Becky has.
Now, you already know this, but I'll kind of jog your memory.
Okay.
Band press should have pictures of each of them tournaments.
Well, you know, like when I was when I was in 8th grade, I have never seen a picture, and I know they took our picture of that tournament. That tournament, when I was in 8th grade, when we won the county tournament, was out at the gym, because the gym had just been built then. And the county tournament was there, and we won. And I have never seen a picture of my grammar school team, 6th, 7th, or 8th grade.
What may have happened there, and she reminded me of this, and I had forgotten it. The Berrien Press burned one time.
Yeah, they had that fire,
and
they did
lost
lose.
a lot of
They
stuff.
did lose a lot of pictures.
So any of the things that was natural for Harold, they have pretty much got.
Yeah, because we got Jamie
Because they got his
Yeah.
pictures. But
Yeah,
the Berrien Press had a fire, so you don't know what was lost there.
let me tell you something else I wish we could find. There should have been, and I'm totally blank, I can't remember nothing. There should have been a record kept during the ball game of each of them ball games.
Scorebooks for games.
Scorebooks,
Does
yeah.
anybody have any of those?
Well, now, like again, Becky's got scorebooks that like Larry had and Dan had from like high school and stuff like that, or some of them anyway. But I don't know. But like I said, there should have been scorebooks for the grammar school games too. And where did they go? I don't know.
Let me tell you somebody you might check that might
Okay.
be able to tell you something better than Simpson. Because her and
Betty
Betty
Burns.
Jean Hand
Yes, I
was
know.
just like that.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna call her. I saw her at O'Neill's this morning, and I told her. I said, you know, we're getting the Smithsonian exhibit coming. She said, yeah. Yes. So I'm gonna ask you again about pictures. I've asked her several times. She said, call me and just come over and let's just go through what I've got.
Now,
Dealt with it.
So
let me tell you another lady that makes give you some information. She wouldn't have it, but she might tell you something. What's the lady's name at
I know you're going. Go ahead, and I'll make sure you're who I'm thinking of.
the big farmers out there?
Miss Sarah Vickers.
Sarah.
Her first teaching years was with Daddy when he first started coaching, and Daddy said he thought, and he was not for sure, that she kept the books a little while for him.
Oh,
Might have.
Yeah.
And she might know where, but he didn't say she would have it,
Right.
but might know where they were put or stored or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this has probably been done away with. There used to be some of that stuff stored in the top of that old gym and over those dressing rooms and those bathrooms. But I bet that's all been long gone.
I know that she traveled with us some.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before she married, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what her maiden name was at that time. She's Miss Sarah Vickers now. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She's from somewhere down around Lake Charles or somewhere down there. Let me tell you what stands out in my mind. At the end of a basketball season, I took a group to Radium Springs on kind of a picnic outing, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And she went with us. And when we started to get off the bus, I turned around and told the students how much I had enjoyed working with them. They were a good group. If I can be of help to you in the future, let me know. And she said something to this effect. She says, I'd like to borrow some money. Or give me some money or something to that effect.
Or she's just being smarty at that.
Yeah, she was
being
just
smart, being cute.
She was just wise enough. You know, the little things like that stand out in your mind. God, y'all put me way back.
Okay.
I've kind of enjoyed the reminiscing.
Well, good. Well, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there'll be some things you'll remember tomorrow or tonight.
Oh,
I'll get
yeah.
a phone call. I forgot to tell you all this.
Well, yeah, okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, it's been fun reminiscing.
Let me go back and remind you of one thing. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Okay.
Jody and Matt, the coach that I was under at Middle Georgia College, and I told you this a while ago, but I don't know what all I told you. Him and Wally Butts were big buddies because they played on the same football team at Mercer University years ago.
Yeah, you told us that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
told you that.
Yeah.
I know he told me one time, if you want to continue in it, he says, I'll make contact with Wally and see what I can get done.
Just didn't want to do it, though. Did you continue to have pain in that shoulder? I mean, was it difficult trying to be out there and trying to play with that injury?
Weren't too bad then.
Right?
But yeah, I know it now.
You know it now. Okay.
Daddy, you tell me the connection between you and Bud Willis.
I don't know if I can tell you other than that we've become friends. He knew that I had played football here, and he was playing. No, he didn't. I think I was going to Georgia College at this time. And he was going to Alabama. I don't know how we first met, but every time I'd see him, we'd talk. I went to the movie in Tifton one night. I think that was on Sunday night. For some reason or other, we were both off. He come into that, I think it's called the Tiff Theater. And boy, both sides of his face looked like he'd been in a fist fight. I got to talking to him. I said, boy, what in the world has happened to you? He looked at me and grinned. He says, anytime you play the University of Georgia, you know you've been on a ball game. Yeah.
And that was about 1954, 55. That
Somewhere along there.
There. Yeah.
I knew there was a connection with that you had kept up with Bud Willis through the years. I knew that.
I saw Bud about 6 months ago, I guess. I'd been to the doctor over in Tifton. Went in the restroom. I walked in on Bud. He was washing his hands. And just like always, he began to talk to me. I said to him, I says, aren't you Bud Willis? He said, yeah. He said, who are you? I told him. But I don't believe Bud ever recognized me.
Really?
Bud's in pretty bad shape.
He's older than you are, I believe, isn't he? Maybe a little bit.
Probably a year or two.
Well, you're too good bit where you're at.
But told me that when he went to the University of Alabama, he wore a chain on one of his arms to keep it from jumping out of place. He said he couldn't throw that hand up. He'd kick it out of place. Said he had that chain and had it wrapped around him
Wow.
where he couldn't throw his arm up.
That's some way to play football.
I'm telling you, you've never known it
Ugh.
unless if you'd seen it though. I wouldn't have thought they'd let him do that.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't today.
Yeah. No. Gracious.
Not too many people from Berrien County, and I've gone back in basketball we've had some in the last 40 years, but not too many people in the day and time that Daddy was in school played college ball.
Right. Exactly.
Matter of fact, I can't think of any. Do you know of any that was in about your age that went on and played college ball somewhere?
From here,
Yes. That's about your age, even a year or two younger or a year or two older. And that wasn't somebody to look at, though.
no.
You need to look at her records.
I don't know of but one boy from this county that played in the college football amount any